In this video, we're going to create a simple animated GIF. To start the animated GIF, we'll use our marquee tool. And with the elliptical marquee tool, I'm going to create a perfect circle. I'm going to add a new layer. And this is going to be the sun that appears inside the animated GIF. Selecting yellow, I'll use the paint bucket tool to fill it. I'll deselect. And I'm going to make a copy of this because we'll use the same shape and size for the eclipsing dark planet. I'll right-click on the layer in the layer window and choose Duplicate. I'll name this Dark Moon. And I'll name the first one Sun. I'll drag the one that'll serve as our dark moon off to the left. And in the layer window, I'm going to lock the transparency. I'll get black on my toolbar, and the foreground color should be black. I'll use my paint bucket by hitting G, and I'll fill the layer with the black by clicking on the object. We're going to use a little bit of a glow on our sun planet. So selecting the sun planet, I'll go to the FX, choosing outer glow. Pretty subjective with this, but I've chosen a bit of an orange. In the layer styles for the outer glow, I'm using hard light as the blend mode. I've got the opacity about 85. I'm going to make the size maybe 30. I'll make the spread 5. Now, because I'm going to be animating this with the GIF animator, I'm going to go ahead and right-click on that layer now, and I'll choose Rasterize Layer Style so that I don't have to deal with those issues in the animation process. Now that we have the planet the way we want, the next thing we want to do is create a little space guy. To do so, I'll put a new layer in at the top of my layer order, and I'll name it Space Guy. And now I'm just going to create a little stick figure of a spaceman using my hard edge brush and white. I'll hit B on the keyboard, right click to make sure the hardness is 100%, and I'll make my brush size maybe 35, and then I'm going to just kind of draw a couple of arms, and I'll draw a bit of a torso, and I'll put a couple of legs on, and I'm going to put them kind of at a Y shape. I'll bump up the size of the brush, and I'll put a helmet on him. Now, I would like to have a couple of fingers and boots on him, so I'll make the brush smaller. And kind of staying with the cartoon style, I'll give him 3 fingers and a thumb. I'll come down and add a little bit of a boot. I'm using the open-close bracket to quickly change the size of the brush. Now that I have the character I want, I'm going to put a stroke on him to begin with. With the layer style, stroke, I'll set it for black. And I have the size 1. And I've set the blend mode to normal, and the position is on the outside edge. Now I also want to have a bit of a visor or a face kind of a component here. I'll get my brush, and I'm going to use a lighter blue perhaps. Again, all this is quite subjective. And then I'll make it the appropriate size, I think. And I'll paint blue in the middle. I'd like to keep that stroke as a component of the animation, so I'm going to get my magic wand tool. And if I select the blue I just put in, and then go from the magic wand to the marquee, I can now right-click inside the selection and choose stroke. And in there I'll set it for black. And in this case I've got it the width 2. And I'll deselect. And now we'll turn on the components we have so far. We've got a space guy, a dark planet, and our sun. Now in the original GIF, I would like him to change in scale and the body to not be straight like this. So in order to do that with the animated GIF, we need to make copies we're going to make 4 copies, leaving the first one large, and then the other 3 will drop in scale down to the smallest. Before I do that though, I'm going to right click on the Space Guy layer and rasterize the layer style. I'll start by naming this Space Guy 1, and then I'll duplicate the layer. And I'll name it Space Guy 2. With my move tool, I'll move him to the left, and I'll scale him a little bit. Once you have all 4, you may want to go back and tweak them, but it's good to get them on the composition window before you do that. Now I'll duplicate Space Guy 2, and that will be number 3. And then I'll drag that to the left, making it a little bit smaller. And with one more layer, duplicated Space Guy number 4, and a little bit smaller than the previous. Now we have everything we need, our 2 planets and our 4 spacemen. Next, we'll go ahead and we'll start the animation GIF process.